Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be duping my beloved Anastasia glow kit in That Glow. You guys know this is one of my absolute favourite highlighting palettes, and if you didn't know, you can probably tell by the fact that I have well and truly hit pan on this shade here, and that doesn't happen very often. I love the formulation of these highlighters so much. These two shades in particular are by far some of the most beautiful highlighters I've ever tried, but because of that I'm actually scared to use it because Anastasia glow kits are so hard to get hold of. I'm not sure if they're limited edition or discontinued or what, because it's hard to find out on the Anastasia website, and because of that I decided to do a little bit of dupe digging, and I came across a certain palette which I will show you guys in a second that is pretty spot on, and it's like a quarter of the price. This retails for 40-ish pounds depending on where you get it from. The palette I have on my lap here right now costs £9.95, so really affordable. You can get it on the drugstore as well, which is great, and I know you guys are wanting to hear about what this dupe is, so let's get into it. So some of you guys may recognise the product that I'm about to show you if you saw my testing Lottie London makeup video. That's kind of a little hint in itself. It is of course the Lottie London Shimmer Squad. I will quickly show you guys what it looks like on its own. Now I don't think you get as much product in these, and obviously the pans are a little bit smaller as opposed to the Anastasia. So this is how they compare next to one another, and as you can see they both contain two very similar champagne-y shades as well as the darker bronzing shade. The only shade that is slightly different is the yellow tone in the Anastasia one and the white one in the Lottie London palette. So in terms of packaging, as you can see, the Anastasia palette is a little bit bigger and the pans are slightly bigger as well. The Lottie London one does, however, have a mirror in the lid, which I think is quite useful because, you know, if you're on the go or if you do want a big mirror, you can just look at yourself and apply your glow. The Anastasia highlighters do pop out if you pull them enough, and they are magnetic, so you can pop them in a Z palette or something. And the actual packaging is a little bit more flimsy for the Lottie London one, but again, it's like 30 quid cheaper, so it really doesn't make much of a difference to me. The Anastasia palette is a little bit more weighty, but I think that's mostly down to the fact that you have the magnet on the bottom so that the pans can stick to it, and then you also have a magnet on the flap as well. This palette is also magnetic, but I think it's only like a magnetic strip here. I don't think the pans as such are removable or magnetic, but you probably could pull them out if you really wanted to. The rest of the packaging is just kind of cardboardy, kind of like benefit packaging, that sort of thing. In terms of the quality of the actual highlighters, I've got to say the Anastasia does come out on top, but like I said, it is 4 times as expensive as the Shimmer Squad, and to be honest, if you are on a budget, if you don't want to pay that money, or if you simply can't find the Anastasia one online at all, the Shimmer Squad is pretty damn good. So first I'm just going to be doing 2 swatches of the 2 lighter shades. So these aren't exactly dupes of one another, but they're not too far off, to be honest. I'll quickly show you. So first of all, I'm just going to dip my finger into the Sunburst, which is the lighter shade from the Anastasia one, and we will pull down my sleeve a little bit and pop that just there. I'll of course do close-ups in a second. And then I've just wiped off my finger on my pajama bottoms, you know, in true Steph style, and I'll take a swatch of this lighter one. These do feel ever so slightly more powdery, but only slightly, and I'll apply that straight underneath. So as you guys can see, the colours are different, but they're not too different, to be honest. The Anastasia one is this one here, and it's obviously slightly more yellow toned as opposed to the Lottie London one, which is a lot more cool tone and kind of icy looking. You guys may not be able to tell, but the Lottie London one is slightly more powdery as opposed to the Anastasia one, but to be honest, you could just buff it in a little bit better and it would sink into the skin the same as the Anastasia. But the pigment is definitely there for both of them, as you can see. In fact, I think the Lottie London one might even be a little bit more pigmented because it does seem a little bit more opaque. But they both got their pros and cons. Personally, I do prefer this one here because you guys know I do like a more warm toned highlight than anything else. But if you are after like an icy cool highlighter, then this one is so good. And then we'll move on to the deeper shades. So I'm just going to take the golden bronze shade from Anastasia on this finger, and then I'm going to take the shade The Flirt on this finger here. Again, Lottie London a little bit more powdery, but not really much in comparison. You may be able to see the slight difference in shades there, and I'll quickly zoom you guys in and show you on my arm. So again, another close-up swatch for you guys. Just there. This one, which is almost more of a rosy gold sort of bronze shade, is the Lottie London, and then this one up here is the Anastasia. Again, personally I prefer the Anastasia one just because I like that kind of more warmy sort of tone, but I also really like this. They are slightly different shades, but again, if you blend them out a little bit, then they do both kind of blend into like the same sort of tone almost, so it's just personal preference. So next we'll move on to 2 of my favourite shades. First of all, we'll go in with Bubbly on my pointy finger, and then we'll go in with the shade Good Girl on my middle finger. And again, quick close up for you guys. Just swatch them both next to each other there. You can see how well they both catch the light. So this one down here is the Lottie London one, a little bit more icy than bubbly. Again, I do prefer the Anastasia one, but there's not much in it to be fair. This one is just a little bit more cool toned, and they both do kind of blend out pretty similar. They're both really, really nice, and they catch like the light really nicely. So you can see when they actually do catch the light, they both look pretty similar. It's just when they're kind of in a bit more of a shadow, you can definitely tell that the Anastasia one is a little bit more warm toned than the Lottie London one, but I still really love both of these shades. And then last but not least, we'll move on to what I personally think is the best dupe and which is my favorite color of the two. So first of all, we're gonna go in with Dripping in Gold from the Anastasia one, going with the pointy finger on that one, and then we're gonna go in with the shade the Queen Bee, which is this one down here on the middle finger again. And again, just quickly show you guys close up. So the one lower down is the Lottie London. You can see they are very, very similar. These kind of blend into my skin a little bit better. Like I said, they're both pretty much just as metallic as one another. Again, the Lottie London one, which is down here, is a little bit more powdery, but what are you gonna do? It's like a quarter of the price. I really don't think there's much in either of these. So yeah, I'm gonna chuck these guys on my face and we'll see the difference. So I'm now gonna go in with both of those highlighters. I'm gonna go in with the Lottie London on this side, I think, and then we'll go in with the Anastasia on this side. I'm going to be using the same brush. It's my Zoeva Luxe Powder Fusion, which is my favourite highlighting brush, and in between I'm just going to give it a little dust off with my W7 Shade and Swap, so that just takes off all the pigment. So yeah, on this side I'm going to go in with the Queen Bee, and we will just see. I'm going to add a little bit more. I'll do the same for the Anastasia as well though. You can see that's got a really, really nice glow there. And then I'll go in with Dripping in Gold here. Swirl my brush around that, tap off the excess and dust that on. And because we did 2 dustings on the other side, I'm going to take a little bit more and do the same on that side as well. So I think it's safe to say that there really isn't that much difference both in the Lottie London side and the Anastasia side. Let me know which is your favourite in the comment section down below and if you're going to be picking up either of these palettes. As always, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. That really helps me out a lot. And also subscribe if you do want to see more of me. I post 3 times a week on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. But apart from that, that's it from me. I love you guys and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.